Hundreds of refugees came out to mark World Refugee Day on June 20th at the University of Nairobi's Graduation Square. The event was hosted by the Kenyan government and UNHCR, the UN Refugee Agency. Kenya's Cabinet Secretary for Interior, Joseph Nkasiri, was present along with UNHCR's country representative, Ralph Mazzou, other senior government officials, diplomats, donors and partners. The day kicked off with music and dance performances by refugees. These Burundian drummers entertained the crowd. Natural Ruai from South Sudan, a refugee for more than 20 years, first in Ethiopia, then in Kakuma refugee camp in northwestern Kenya, then addressed the audience.
It has not been easy knowing that I have a country. But despite all that, I'm not giving up on life because I know the status of being a refugee is not a permanent status. It's something that can change over time. And peace will one day prevail in my country and also in all other countries that my fellow refugees come from.
UNHCR's country representative read part of a statement from the organization's High Commissioner, Filippo Grandi.
On World Refugee Day, when we pause to contemplate the fate of the millions of people who cannot return to their homes tonight because of war or persecution, it's a moment to ask ourselves what each of us can do to overcome indifference or fear and embrace the idea of inclusion, to become refugees to our own communities and to counter narratives that could seek to exclude and marginalize the refugees and the uprooted people.
Kenya hosts nearly 500,000 refugees, mainly from Somalia, South Sudan, the Democratic Republic of Congo and Burundi. Most live in Dadaab and Kakuma refugee camps, but nearly 70,000 live here in the capital, Nairobi. Refugees in Kenya have suffered from long-running wars, political crisis and instability back home, which means Kenya has been hosting refugees for decades. The Cabinet Secretary for Interior reaffirmed the country's commitment to refugees, but he called on the developed world to do more to share the burden of hosting the displaced.
The government of Kenya will continue to reform its institutions and develop policies that will enable us and other partners to be able to offer the best form of protection to refugees living in Kenya. I wish to urge the international community to open their asylum space in order to resettle more refugees, while at the same time assisting the overburdened host countries to cope up with a large number of refugees they host.
There were also speeches from the European Union, the British High Commissioner and the Director General of the UN in Kenya. All called for the urgent need to find lasting solutions for refugees. There were also exhibitions by organizations working to build self-reliance and livelihoods for refugees. The day ended with more cultural performances, songs and dance.